Hello. So I've just had a really, really good meeting that I just know that in like years ago I would have been so excited to have had a meeting like that, and I would have found it so hard to get a meeting like that as well. So it just shows like what a difference just like patience and consistency and continuing to bang the drum of what you're passionate about does, because things are sort of fall into place when they need to. So as an example, or like to explain what I just did, so when I applied for, you might remember, I applied to Dorset Council for 5k to match fund with the 1k that I'd already got from Born Free, to fund Wiggles and Giggles for a year at the Barrington Centre, as well as to fund 3 courses of what I'm now calling the Motherhood, which is a under 2s class for parents and carers who are sort of self-identify as being vulnerable, or they might be referred in by social prescribers and things like that. So to sort of establish Wiggles and Giggles as a Dorset offer at the Barrington Centre. Now, because of the eligibility issue of not being of the CIC not being more than 12 months old, and because of the Barrington Centre being a town council, we couldn't apply for the full 5k amount, or they wouldn't award it to us anyway, which meant that we got 1,500. But because Liz at the Barrington Centre thought that might be an issue, she sort of just inputted all of the answers that I gave for the Dorset Council application into a LAG application, which is the Local Alliance Group. And that is something that I hadn't heard of before, didn't have access to, still don't honestly know how she does it. I don't know if it's through a counsellor, I'm not sure. They then funded 3k, so when we got 1,500 from Dorset Council, we got the 1,000 from Born Free, and we've got 3k from the LAG. That takes us up to 5,500 of the initial 6k project. So that's really exciting. So I've sort of scaled down slightly what we were delivering. There'll be no outreach sessions, and there'll be the courses for the under 2s and their parents and carers will be 5 weeks long as opposed to 6 weeks long. And that sort of takes us down to 5,500. Now and this is to sort of serve the Ferndown Centre area, Ferndown East area, I think. And my argument for that is that when I researched, there's a place called the Centre that's based in the Trickett's Cross, or what is now known as the Heatherlands, that already has sort of family activities happening in a family hub. So I kind of stayed well away from that because I didn't want to duplicate or tread on toes of activities that are happening already in that area. But the LAG councillors suggested that this might be a really great model to also replicate at the centre, and they wanted us to go for more funding with them, had a deadline of like the end of January. So they said as soon as you can, post Christmas, meet up with the centre manager, Nikki, and talk about, create a project, see if we can come together to put an application in. So there's a pretty strong chance we can get some funding, and because you're working together collaboratively, the kind of individual pot limit doesn't apply. So I think we can probably apply it for up to like 7k if we wanted to. So I just went along to Nikki and just told her everything about what sort of how we've got to where we've got to, and just said, don't know if this aligns with you, don't know if it's already, my biggest concern is that there is activity happening there, and there's also activity that's going to be happening at the Barrington Centre. So I don't want to kind of duplicate or compete with existing activities, because it's it's going to be pay what you can. So because it's pay what you can, people might opt to go for that instead of opting to pay for well-established services. And that would make me sad, because I don't want to impact anybody's business, because it was only last year I was trying to set up Wiggles and Giggles as like a commercial entity in Kinston, and I was really kind of put out when, or disappointed I suppose, when the venue programmed sensory work in the same morning or same venue as what I was existing. So I kind of felt like it was saturating the market a little bit in the area, and that I was getting less, there'd be less chance of me being able to build up my own client group as a result. but as we know, in Totten there is other stuff that happens, and it's really thrived. So I don't know. So I talked about it, and we looked at room availability, and Nikki's really up for it, and her background sounds really great, and all the stuff that they do at the centre sounds brilliant. Like, it's all drug and alcohol services, contact time, and they've got U3A and Mahjong. Like, they've got some community activities for older residents in the local area, but a lot of it is very family based. Like, they've got a food bank, a baby bank, and like a clothing bank, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel really good and positive because it's more work basically. So this little snowball is continuing to grow, which is great. I just need to definitely get somebody else to lead the activities, which I'll probably find a bit disappointing because it's such a big amount of work, but I just simply can't do it because it'll be a morning, and now my Tuesdays and Thursday mornings are taken up, Thursday afternoons are taken up. For 3 courses of the year, my Tuesday afternoons will be taken up. Wednesday I've got free currently, and I've left it free to do my work, like my client work. And Friday mornings will potentially be over at Poole Museum doing a short-term course that might then continue. So, like, when do I look after my children? That is an issue. But yeah, so I do need to bring somebody else in to help. But it's great. And then in other news, I was at the Dolphin Centre shopping centre at the weekend, and I saw their gather space again, which is like a community area within the middle of their shopping centre that can be used to test ideas basically. So I really want to test the viability of the Make and Play space, which is my kind of dream, to have a unit or be resident somewhere where we have this really high-end, high-quality, innovative soft play that's inclusive, and we also have arts, like free play and arts-based activities around the area, and we have sessions and workshops going on, and we have a storeroom, and we have an office, and we might sell cakes, and it'll all be like a Makaton-friendly venue, with the idea of bringing arts and play to mainstream audiences that are looking to do like soft play of an afternoon. Like, so they might book for the soft play. That's how we get them in. But we were actually like promoting the arts and giving arts space to exist within mainstream, like, commercial venues. Rather than someone having to go to like an arts venue to experience arts, like, we literally take it to the high street, but obviously the cost of that is astronomical. So I looked at this idea, I think it was last year, and then I did fall off my chair. I just was like, it's a pipe dream, but I'll keep it in my mind. But when I went past the Gather, which is the space at Dolphin Centre, I looked at the size of it and the shape of it, and I was like, that is exactly what I'm imagining. And obviously I can't put the kind of soft play that I'm envisaging in there because it's not going to be permanent and I haven't got the money to buy it. But what I might do is fundraise to bring in like a party package where somebody brings like really high quality stuff, they set it up, and then we have like fancy dress rails and like mirrors for theatre, and we have visual art. We might have like free play with grains and, I don't know, rice and chickpeas, coloured chickpeas in like rainbow patterns, and then in trays, and then we might have painting activities or instruments or something else, and then we've also got the kind of workshops scheduled, and I'm going to try and have it for a few days if it's allowed, I don't know, to kind of test whether this mix of arts and play is attractive to an audience, because it'll be attractive for bookers, but it might also be attractive for passers-by. But it's just whether people want to part with their money spontaneously for stuff like that. I don't know. And also like charging, I don't know how much to charge. So yeah, I might actually apply for the Arts Council independent fund. I can't think what it's called. When you what is it? Develop your creative practice. I might try that. We'll see. Because I don't know how much money I'd apply for. an interesting thought. But yeah, anyway, so that's where I'm at. I've got a couple of hours until a phone call, and then another phone call for the client work that I'm doing, and then I will be continuing to plug away and plan for these sessions. I need to make posters or print posters or flyers for Wiggles and Giggles at the Barrington Centre to get that advertised. And I also need to contract somebody who's going to be supporting with some admin. And I need to contract myself to deliver Wiggles and Giggles and the Motherhood. And then I need to I am doing a counselling course, which I think I probably said before, and I had a unit that was due tomorrow, but I actually finished that unit last night, so I might at some point start the next unit, which is the final one that will be done by the 30th of Jan. It just depends if I've passed the other one or not, to be able to move on to the next unit. But yeah, so exciting morning. Feels good. Yesterday felt a bit like but now I feel like I'm back a little bit, which is good. And with some busy weeks coming up, I needed to kind of feel like that again. So yeah, anyway, thank you for listening to my update, and hope that the car videos work well for you, and I shall speak to you soon. All right, cheers, bye.